The world spins round and round, but all the people on it are still in lockdown. Welcome to the second episode of Freewheeling, live action sports from the Southern Hemisphere. We're down here on the South Island of New Zealand, and we're going to be rounding up all of the very best of action sports from the last week. Big news down here in the commune is the moustache. We've arrived in some kind of juvenile prickle, like a young hedgehog riding a big chopper motorcycle. This thing is going places. I'm expecting a kind of Tom Selleck in the 70s versus Nico in Killing Eve. Any self-respecting man should be wearing a moustache right now because, let's face it, who else can see you? Back to the show though, and I talked about a time of transition. We're moving sort of from summer, late summer into autumn, and maybe even a sign of winter, because up there on the hills, yes, we have our first snows of the winter season. So a lot of people starting to think about that. There's old sayings in New Zealand though: snow in May will not stay, snow in June still too soon. There isn't a saying about April, so this early dump is looking quite healthy up there. Could be a great precursor to a heavy snow season. This is what's coming up in the show though. Check it out. Our special guest this week is the king of the double backflip, the man who took on one of the biggest jumps in free ski history. It is, of course, the Legs of Steel legend, Paddy Graham, who's going to talk us through all of his winter isolation in Innsbruck and, of course, fronting the new behind-the-scenes show for the Freeride World Tour, Face Value. And then we've got entertainment in the form of a Zoom game from two of the most creative men in European skiing and mountain biking. Toby Reindl, also of the Legs of Steel crew, and Nico Zarsek, the creator of Audi 9s. Can't wait for that one. But first, we're going to kick off with a chat with the one and only Jenny Jones, Olympic bronze medalist from Sochi slopestyle in 2014. I've always got visions of Olympians in lockdown just kind of sat polishing their medal. Is that what you're up to?
Yeah, just put that on for a bit, practice the wave. No. It's in a box somewhere, I think, under the I don't know actually where it is. But I tell you what's funny is my postman, when he used to come round, he was like, "Oh, can I have a look at your trophy and things?" And I was like, "Oh, what, you mean the medal?" And he's like, no, your pointless trophy that you won with Claire Boulding on the Pointless show." So he was more impressed by that. But anyway, yeah, I've not been doing that. I've been trying to enjoy the sunshine, and been getting out on my bicycle as much as I can and everything like that. So and I'm really close to the beach, so I've been able to go and cruise past that quite a lot.
Okay, let's take a look, see what you've been doing down there.
Out on my bike ride, a bit windy today, but I get to go past my local beach, absolutely gorgeous sort of sands right there. Feels good to breathe in the ocean air, I'll tell you that.
That looks beautiful, sunny, but maybe a little windy.
Yeah, it is, but it's such a, it's so nice to be near the coast. And come back, I still get to do a bit of yoga and things, but I mean, you've got the yoga instructor in your house. Yep. Has she been doing some?
She's been doing loads, actually. She's building a course, and it means that she's filming 2 or 3 classes a day. So I can just drop in. It's like having a drop-in class whenever you want, just next door. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going for a yoga now.
Have you done hot yoga in the polytunnel?
I can't do that hot yoga. I'm like a lizard, but I don't like it. It's not for me. But I can feel it's a difficult balance for me. There's been a lot of beer o'clock. I'm sort of sliding down the scale. As soon as the sun gets past the yard, I'm kind of 5 past 12. I'm thinking about it. So you kind of do the yoga, and then you're like, ooh. And I've started eating a lot of chocolate as well.
Oh no! Okay, no, we've got to get off that one. I still do the Friday 5 o'clock gin o'clock with the girls. And we've got to do a quick shout out for Gendel, whose birthday it was this week. We had a great birthday quiz for him.
Yeah, he's on good form, isn't he? What about the surfing? Because I know if you can get down to the beach, surely the temptation is massive.
Yeah, well, we actually haven't had any decent surf, so it's okay. But yeah, so there's I mean, there's different schools of thought here. Like they have said, if you can walk or cycle or get to the beach, and that is your form of exercise is the surfing, then you can do that. Yeah, but you don't see that many people in the water. But again, when a big swell comes, we'll or any swell comes, we'll see what happens.
Okay, it's the opposite down here. The police commissioner's come out on the South Island and said the only problems are coming from surfers and mountain bikers. So, yeah, it's off limits down here. So, but that's our discussion. It's time to go now and find out what you found on social media. This is the best of it.
In my first Insta check, I want to start with a post by former pro snowboarder Jack Matrani, who we already featured last week. Jack calls on an initiative that we should all get behind as much as we can, and that is Goggles for Docs.
Greetings to all my fellow shredders and shredettes of the Shred-A-Kit community. It is now more important than ever to unite our Shred-A-Kit community and donate all of your goggles to @GogglesForDocs. I've given out tons of my goggles to the homies over the years, so if you're seeing this, please donate. If you have any extra goggles, please donate. Help these medical professionals not only fight COVID, but do it in style. And big shout out to Donna and Burton for inspiring this.
Now, as you can see in the next 3 posts, the Goggles for Docs charity organisation donates goggles to medical professionals fighting against COVID-19. They set up branches in the US, the UK, as well as Australia and New Zealand. A special shout out goes to Burton Snowboards, who have donated 500,000 KN95 face masks to medical personnel, manufactured face shields, and support the Goggles for Docs initiative, who I've also donated my goggles to.
Okay, now it's time for our special guest. It's the one and only Paddy Graham, a bona fide legend of British free skiing. Let's take a look at what he does best. Paddy, good to see you. How are you going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. Is that the corner of a Scove piece of art that I can see behind you?
It is. It was going to go on my helmet, but it ended up on as a print on the wall, which still looks good.
It's beautiful. I love, they're so distinctive, aren't they? Because he uses, I think he only uses 2 or 3 colors between them, if you don't count black and white.
Yeah, his like his original ones as well. Like he draws on like different layers as well, with all these like resins and stuff, and it's like actually quite layered up pieces.
I saw one of those being made at one stage, and I think it was a good 3 centimeters deep. And as you say, he'd poured resin and was laying different aspects of the painting on.
Yeah, they get pretty thick. He's also done like stained glass windows as well, I think. So they're really cool.
Those.
Yeah,
they went for crazy money, didn't they? He had one of those exhibitions, and they're in giant frames.
yeah, they're huge. All his original ones are massive. So, yeah, I really like them. I've been following Scove for a while. He's actually from like 10 minutes away from where I live, or where I'm from, in the UK, and that's I always really liked his art. I don't even know if I've ever seen him snowboarding, but I always liked the Dalek fodder stuff, and when his art started blowing up, it was rad. I've got the shoes, I've got we've got all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
It's pretty wild, isn't it? How much of an input into mountain culture, especially skiing and snowboarding, Sheffield's had.
yeah. I mean, it's all around the dry slope, I guess, that they used to have in Sheffield. But also, like, Sheffield's a really outdoor town. There's a lot of biking, like Steve Pete's from there, so there's a lot of mountain biking, and there's like a huge like culture around climbing, and like hiking. Like I mean, we're close to the Peak District and everything, so yeah, it's an outdoor city, I guess.
Paddy, talk us through your winter season then, because you took a really different approach this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, usually I spend the whole season like going out filming for video projects, and just concentrating on getting ski footage basically. And last year, like the whole season that I was out filming, it was only about 4 weeks, and I filmed my whole section through that, and then I kind of realized that I have a bit of extra time, and got the opportunity to join the Freeride World Tour this year, not as an athlete, but kind of as as like a roaming reporter, I guess, like a bit of an insight. And we produced a behind the scenes show of the Freeride World Tour. Red Bull thought I'd be good at it because I'm a skier and I know all the athletes, but all of my friends that I knew on the Freeride World Tour, they all quit last year. So I kind of didn't know anyone. I knew a few people. But yeah, I got to travel around the whole world to all the stops, go skiing with all the athletes, and have a great time and see that side of the sport for once.
I loved the show, but the one thing that surprised me with it, I thought that you could compete on the tour, and I wondered if there was ever an element of that throughout the season, whether you thought, you know what, I'd actually like to pull the bib on here.
Yeah, I think like every tour every stop when I was watching, I would like to have skied for sure. Like going into the first stop in Japan, I was like, oh my God, what's this going to be like? Because I always thought that it was very, very competitive. Like some people didn't like other people, and that it was just like really serious. And I got there first stop, you got to meet everyone, but then the competition happened like relatively fast, so didn't really get to spend that much time with all the athletes and find out what was going on. But we like congregated at the top of the face to watch the snowboarders in Japan, and like everyone was like sat next to each other, all looking at the face, all talking about what they were going to do, and everyone was just so nice. And like you hear people going on and on about the Freeride World Tours being like family, and now I'm always like, oh yeah, whatever, that's what everyone says about everything. But it really is, like, everyone was really nice. And I mean, there's definitely a competitive element, like when they're doing the runs, but before and after that, everyone's like super nice, everyone's really friends.
And I spent a couple of years on it as well, and I always felt that athletes are competing against themselves rather than each other. Obviously, the judges have to put them against each other, but fundamentally, in that minute and a half on the face, it's whether they're skiing or snowboarding to their potential, and that's what you're up against. So I felt it took away that personal rivalry.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I mean, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, because everyone's dealing with the same challenges at each contest. Like, everyone's got the same snow, everyone's got the same conditions. And a lot of the time, like, you know, the riders in the contest, they wouldn't choose that face to ride down anyway, because, you know, it wouldn't suit their style, or it wouldn't suit like what they wanted to do. So everyone's kind of like battling their own, like, you know, they have their own battles. And I mean, you see that as well, like you're saying, it's just about like riders battling themselves. Like Tanner Hall is one of the greatest skiers on the planet, and he's been on the tour now for 2 years, or that was his second year. And you know, you talk to him about it, and he's like, I just can't land runs here. You know, like I just can't do it. And it's so different to like going out filming or something, and he just wants to be the best. And he's like, oh, I've just got to like tone it down and you know, see it as a marathon rather than a sprint. It's interesting to see in real life as what you see on the TV.
Yeah, and okay, then the impossible question, Sophie's choice. Who's your favourite skier on tour?
They're all amazing. They're all my favourite.
Name one. I was really impressed by the fearlessness and originality of Hank Billis this year.
Yeah, no, I would
enjoyed
probably
watching him
say
skiing.
Hank, definitely, like he's an amazing skier. He always does like something that stands out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Hank was really good. I'm a big fan of Drew Tabke as well.
Unbelievable.
Because he's
phenomenal skier.
Yeah, and he's been on the tour for so long, and like if you go out for a ski with him, like he just loves skiing. I mean, everyone loves the skiing. But yeah,
you don't put yourself through the tour for that long unless you really, really love that. Okay, I'm going to let you off the hook there. For now, though, we're going to, Pad, thanks for talking to us. That was awesome. We're going to leave you with a little bit of behind-the-scenes footage from Face Value, Paddy's show from the Freeride World Tour this winter.
In this series, we're going deep behind the scenes to find out about those personalities underneath the helmet and goggles of those athletes.
That was too funny.
So good.
Fighting me.
Woo! Filming.
Face value.
Subscribe.
Like all this is going to be cut down. The final is in Verbier.
You're smart.
I went to school for a small amount of time.
Woo!
Interview with Paddy.
Yes! Yeah! That's it.
Little battle.
Action.
Dude, that's a fun hit, huh?
Goes deep behind the scenes to find out what's really going on behind the helmet and goggles for those amazing personalities. Wait, see that little thing there? Shoot him again.
Definitely going to have to watch my back with Paddy, who's a very talented presenter. If you haven't seen Face Value already, go and check it out. I think you can find it on Red Bull TV. Well worth recapping the season from Paddy's perspective. Right now, though, we're going to go back into the social media pond with our very own Jenny Jones.
The second part of my Insta check, I start with a post that's been up for a couple of days on Snowbrain's Insta, but I thought it was too good to miss.
That's it. Once you get on, just shuffle back. That's it. Stay in the middle. Get big feet up. That's it.
We've seen last week how Seb Toots is the master of the Instagram fitness challenge. The Canadian not only inspiring fellow snowboarders, but skiers too, like Mathilde Grimaud. Sweden's Jasper Tiara shows his followers how to have a bit of fun in isolation with his mini balcony shred. And if you just want to chill, it's worth checking out the Freeride World Tour Insta. They've always got some great posts. This week, I think it's a vid of the top 10 tricks from 2020 Freeride World Tour.
Yeah, Tanner Hall, he's pointing, he's letting us know he's going down there again. Fatty backflip there for Tanner Hall, dead clean. That was a really unique approach on that one. And finding he's got so much power and it's like, that landing is not steep there, but he just handled it. Marcus Eder.
Last year's World Tour champion, but interesting stuff like that. Holy damn, Marcus laying it out off that top hit.
Marcus is making his claim on this. Oh, a beautiful cross hill there, and then sending the bottom with a huge three.
Yeah, buddy! Reminiscent of Tanner Hall from last year with a huge three off that here. Hank absolutely sending it, backing up his insane run from Harvey.
Some very, very impressive tricks in there. Hank Billers, for me, a very deserving first place. If you go and watch that entire run, that trick, the nigh on 80-foot 360, is the entire run. He just skirts out way out to skier's right, does that 360 and then straight lines it down into the finish. I thought he should have scored a bit higher than he did, but he still goes home with best trick of the season on the Freeride World Tour. Now, here in the commune, it's been a busy week of work on the pump track because it's not really a pump track anymore. We've turned it into a jump track. We've built a nice takeoff on the front here, and then the landing is made up of two 50-gallon drums of nondescript liquid, which we suspect might be quite flammable. So rather than endanger myself on this, we obviously send the children in first. Off you go, Lightning. Oh, he's got a bit of a whip. Oh no, I'm in a really high gear. Have I got enough speed? Woo! There we go. I reckon I can get a wheelie on the way back though. Live TV wheelie. This could be embarrassing. Straight arms, keep it on the back. That's the best way to stay fit. Oh, that actually wasn't too bad. Right, it's time for the game at the end of the show. Let's head on to Zoom for this one. Well, welcome to the Zoom game show. Joining me for this week's occasion, we have one of Legs of Steel's finest, the man who came up with the phrase, ski good, money will come. It's Mr. Toby Reindl. Joining him, we have the main brains behind the Audi 9's concept for both snowboarding, skiing, and mountain biking. And of course, we have our own expert who's going to be putting her many and varied talents to the test against both of those gentlemen. It's Denny Jones. How are you doing in lockdown? Toby, where are you?
Innsbruck.
How's that
It's all good.
Yeah, it's. I heard from Paddy, earlier on in the show, Paddy said it's still pretty strict there, yeah?
And but they loosen it up just before the Easter weekend. So now you're like allowed to do exercises again, and I think that's the main thing. So
the big news from Legs of Steel, though, is that you've put Ski Good Money Will Come on YouTube, haven't you?
Absolutely correct. We decided we have to spread it out as much as we can into the internet, so we can keep watching it in case the internet gets deleted. and yeah, we thought that that's a good one to release right now.
Very wise plan. Well worth a watch as well. If any of you haven't seen it, it's one of the best ski mockumentaries you'll ever find anywhere. Go on the Legs of Steel Insta account and you'll find it. Nico, where are you?
I'm locked down in Portugal, which is not too bad. Well, we have pretty strict rules at the moment, so there's no surfing. And
he's got a pool.
And the pool is way too cold, but I have a mini ramp, so I'm happy.
Really?
Yes,
The
lockdown.
mini ramp is the holy grail of lockdown.
Yes, actually, yes.
He's got a
Unfortunately,
pool on the mini ramp, so I don't want to hear anything from this guy.
but you want to hear one thing, Toby? Ski Good, Money Will Come, my favorite Leisure Sea movie of all time.
Yeah, I think ours too, because it sums it up.
You've been in isolation.
Say it again, Jenny. Sorry.
Nika, did you build the mini ramp since you've been in isolation, or did you have it?
No, it's been here. But that's what I do here. My hobbies have turned into building, which I'm really bad at. But now my kids have a big sandbox and a pirate ship, which is like 5 meters long and stuff. We collect stuff on the beach and build.
That's pretty rad. Portugal had one of the first lockdowns, though, didn't it? How long have you been in lockdown now?
Yeah, it's been the same timing as everybody else, but they didn't have the virus properly yet, and this is why it's all pretty mellow here, to be honest. It's a good country to be in right now.
Okay. Now, the point of this is to have a game. And I thought, what better game than the toilet paper in the mouth? Because it combines some wonderful aspects of the current lockdown. Obviously, we've got toilet paper. You're proving that you're extremely rich and blasé, freewheeling, if you like, if you're prepared to take your ever so valuable toilet paper and put it in your mouth. So what we're going to do, you take 2 sheets at a time, put it in your mouth, and then I'll be talking to you. The last person still able to talk to me is the winner of the game. So let's start. Each of you can roll up, squash, do whatever you want with 2 sheets of toilet paper, put those in your mouth, and then we'll start with you, Toby. How did the winter go until it slowed? Oh, look at that. Good technique. I like it, Toby. That's pretty basic. Wow, he's gone for 2 big sheets. We talked about this earlier on. I think cheap toilet paper is going to be the answer here, but he's going for the Marlon Brando approach. Nico's gone really folded up in the side. How did the winter go so far, Toby?
Well, good is until we couldn't ski anymore. But yeah, no, it's actually okay.
Has there been good snow since lockdown?
No, not at all. That's the funny thing is, like, it's been sunny since literally almost the lockdown, so we have a feeling that you don't miss out too much.
Okay, not too bad. Nico, what about you? Obviously, pretty upsetting for you guys. Audi 9s had to be cancelled.
Yeah, would have started yesterday actually, and we would have had a full week of bluebird forecast. My friend Toby Reinl was so kind to send me that weather forecast.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Toby, again. Thank you, Toby.
First time ever that it's been like that.
Yes, it's been horrible the last years. The weather hasn't been great, and this year we would have had a good year. But hey, we had a lot of time to think about that, and it's still all good. The vibes are very positive here.
Now, I know for a fact, Jenny, you've brought a little bit of memorabilia along that Nico has. Toby, Nico, you can now put the next sheets in your mouth while Jenny answers this question.
Yeah, I did, because Audi 9s is just, well, when it was called Nine Queens, wasn't it, when I was doing it at the beginning? This was my trophy for one of the events. I came 3rd, and it's such a rad little skate deck, so put it up. I always remember the sort of prizes and everything that came around it, like the amount of training time and practice you got, and shredding, and for the event. I just loved it. Like for the girls' event, it's like we just had the best time. I can't stop.
Sorry, Jenny, I'm looking at Toby. How you doing, Toby? What's your favourite food in Innsbruck? What's the best local food we need to try out there?
Definitely Akata Pizzeria is what you have to try. At the Bögen, at the club, at the the place where the clubs are, and they are ruling it in terms of delivery and pickup service. And yeah, if I would choose a background, I would choose them as my background at the moment. They're saving the day. Warriors.
Okay. Takeaway pizzas. What about you down in Portugal, Nico? What's your food of choice?
Everything's closed here because there's no tourism, right? So everything's closed. So we're cooking every day. and we really run out of ideas. I need inspiration. Jenny, what could we cook tonight?
Well, I learned to cook.
Hey, Nico, I need another one in yours, and Toby, I need another sheet in your mouth as well. Go ahead, Jenny, sorry.
My brother's been teaching me a nice curry over the old FaceTime, him and the kids. So I've got a good curry in the bag. And then Easter, I'm talking all right now, am I?
Yeah, you must have the biggest mouth out of everyone.
Have you guys got shredded wheat? Because you can make a really cool like nest, like a Easter egg nest. Have you guys ever done that? Is that like an English thing?
English, I don't know if I should take advice from an English person for cooking. Sorry.
Toby, how much footage have you got in the bag ready for next year's movie? Have you got enough?
Next year's movie is postponed. I can officially announce that because we didn't get enough, because you know all the crew shootings, Park and Alaska and all that stuff couldn't happen. But I think we're postponing everything to next year and gonna release everything we had this year. Luckily, there's the World Wide Web where you can just put out short stuff these days.
Yeah. Did you get much up until March?
Not that much, but we had 2 really nice shootings in the Alberg classical Austria region with a good crew, with Heimer RV vans, which was fantastic.
With what, sorry?
Going on, by the way.
What were they?
Really, yeah.
Yeah. What were they?
Yeah. Anyways, we got some.
What were they? What were you shooting with?
Heimer van. Vans. Yeah.
What kind of van was it?
A RV van.
Oh, you managed it that time. That's what I was waiting for. Nico, there was talk of an Audi 9s in China, wasn't there?
Oh, was there? Yeah, there might have been. There might have been. No, yeah, there was. And we did the same thing. We postponed to next year. This is the first time we ever speak about it publicly, by the way. Thank you, Ed.
Sorry.
With a load of tissue in your mouth.
Yeah, this was like it's falling apart.
A world first.
Yeah.
Toby, you can go one more as well. Jones, I've got a funny feeling didn't you break your jaw once? You had your jaw wired up, didn't you? Yeah.
No, I tell you who did. Leslie McKenna. Oh, it was a shocker. Do you know?
Right. Okay.
She actually. That was she's done a jaw, but she's also done. Have I got time to tell you quickly about when we were in Jackson Hole? We went snowboarding there. Oh my God! Look at the state of me. And
you're starting to look like a chick at Easter.
Yeah. And she, we were in the backcountry, built a kicker and things. And long story short, she came down and I heard a snap, and I thought she snapped her snowboard. And I shouted down and I was like, hey, Leslie, you're all right? Like, you think you've broken your board? And I got no response. And I had to run down to her, and I was like, you're all right? And she obviously didn't really know where she was at or anything. And she was looking at me blankly. And I looked at her, and she'd kneed herself in her eye socket. And her face was just concaved. And I was like, I think we should get the snowshoes on and get out of here. Because we had like a 40-minute hike out. And I swear to you, every 5 minutes, she said to me, have you got my backpack? Who are you? Have you got my backpack? Who are you? And I was just like, oh my God. But anyway, so that was her face. But had her jaw wired too. But
I'll tell you what, you boys are in trouble here, Nico and Toby. Jenny's still talking normally. How are you going, Toby?
Doesn't work too well. I went for the snooze kind of technique, putting into the upper and lower parts of the lip. But yeah, it doesn't work so much. But I had to laugh so hard because Jenny was actually telling a pretty serious story with 5 pieces of toilet paper in her mouth.
Yeah, we've gone through some fairly serious topics here. We've broken Nico's biggest secret at Audi 9s. They were heading in.
Hats off to that, by the way. I like that a lot.
But you've got a documentary coming out, haven't you, Nico?
Yes. Actually, in the next 48 hours, it's called Nothing Quite Like It. and it's a very special one. Even my friend Toby would like it. It's a good one about Audi 9 winter and summer.
What's it
wow.
called?
Did not know that.
Nothing quite like it.
Nothing
Get
quite
it?
like it, that was.
Thank you, Ed.
Jenny, which of your film parts, and Myriad, get another tissue in there. Come on, let's double down. Everyone with another 2 now. Let's play going for broke because we're running out of time here. And Jenny, of all your film parts, which one are you most proud of?
I can't talk now. I really enjoyed filming with Drop Stitch crew, but I was stoked on my section in Stance. Remember Stance, which was my mouth is so dry.
No.
But yeah, that was filmed a lot in the States as well as in Europe with Hannah Beeman and a few of the other Lisa Fils Moser. She's a good crack. You guys know Fils Moser, don't you?
He's I'm in her physiotherapeutic
You're in her, what was that, Toby?
treatment.
Yeah,
at the
Toby,
moment.
you're out of this. You're out. I didn't understand anything you just said. Jenny, get another one in. Toby, put one more in. Just let's see if we can go there anyway. Nico, how long are you planning to stay in Portugal now?
I have no idea, man. Politics are gonna decide.
And the big question that everyone has with Audi 9s, and I suppose you can reveal this now that we know it's not happening. Where do you keep coming up with the ideas for the obstacles?
Yeah,
Well,
the creators, yeah.
Okay, so one of the most important input is sitting next to me right now, Toby Reindl. He's strong at this stuff. So he's one of the 2 persons who really only helps me that's not an athlete. And everybody else is the athletes. We do workshops for every event. We invite them over and sit them down for a day and they help us. But now, and this is rad, because of the lockdown, for the first time ever, we did an online contest for everybody out there to send us drawings for the snow and bike event. We just started it a week ago. And the stuff we're getting is crazy. Like one guy, art student, sent like Gothic cathedral stuff, like full setup, really well thought through. It all looked like Gothic cathedrals. Crazy. Another one sent a full, like the whole setup was very creative too, and it looks like pirate world, pirate ships. It's amazing. So we're gonna pirate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Jones made absolutely no sense. Reindl is out of here. Nico Zazek of Audi 9's fame, you have won the toilet paper challenge on Freewheelin. Congratulations, sir. Jenny, Toby, you don't get to say goodbye. Those are not your prizes. Well, actually, no. Let's try and say goodbye now with mouthfuls of toilet paper.
Goodbye.
That was pretty good, actually. Nico, thank you so much for coming on.
Bye, gang. See you soon, hopefully, everybody.
Take care. Thank you to Paddy, and thank you for watching the second episode of Freewheeling. We'll see you again next week. See you later on.